In Movies and Money, the people who own film studios have dollar signs in their eyes as the big 4th of July holiday weekend arrives with blockbuster summer hits. Let's check in with film critic Erik Childress. Hello to you, Erik.
Hi, Angie.
It was a close race at the top of the box office over the weekend between Maverick and Elvis. It seems like it took a minute for the ticket money to be counted. Which film won?
Well, that's a question that could actually be answered with either film. But if we are just referring to the weekend, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis did come out the victor, earning $31.1 million after early estimates by studios suggested a tie between that and Top Gun Maverick. And that's about as good a number as Warner Brothers could hope for, given that no one was thinking it was headed for a $50 million haul like Bohemian Rhapsody. But it did outdo the Elton John Rocket Man film from a few years ago, which started with over $25 million. Will this be good enough for the long run, though? The budget on Elvis reportedly came in around $85 million, which means it is going to need over $200 million worldwide to turn a profit. Now, the good news is that if it follows the kind of word of mouth that other music biopics have received, it could be headed towards a final gross of about $114 million just domestic. However, with the exception of the Queen film, those same biopics have not reached over $100 million on the global stage. So with only an additional $20 million internationally so far, it's going to be a close call. Well, Top Gun Maverick, on the other hand, is unlikely to be challenged by any other film in 2022 other than possibly the sequel to Avatar. The film has surpassed $1 billion worldwide, a first for Tom Cruise. It just had the third best fifth weekend ever behind only Avatar and Titanic, and it is soaring towards $600 million domestic and could be on its way to becoming one of the 10 highest grossing films ever.
Family films are going to be the next test at the box office. Here's a preview of Minions: The Rise of Gru.
You seriously think a puny little child can be a villain?
Yes, I am pretty despicable. You don't want to cross me?
Come back when you've done something evil to impress me.
Erik, this was a film that delayed production due to the pandemic.
Well, the long delay certainly did not seem to hurt Top Gun Maverick, but this is going to be a very interesting test case for the theatrical market, Angie. Yes, in pre-pandemic times, the Despicable Me films and its Minions spin-off have amounted to $3.65 billion for Universal. But that was then. Currently, this is the biggest theatrical demographic that has just not fully come back. With the exception of the sequels Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sing 2, no other family films have reached $100 million. Now that will change this weekend when Lightyear also crosses that threshold, but look at how that film has disappointed, and there are still a lot of unresolved theories as to why that is. Perhaps Minions this weekend can narrow them down a bit. If it comes away with a number over $75 million, then maybe kids had greater interest in the familiar rather than reinventing a beloved character. Then again, if the final number on this overall comes in at less than $200 million, then we have to consider that maybe the family market took the biggest hit with the pandemic and needs to be re-strategized.
The other family film opening across the country this weekend is one you believe has the potential to be the best film of the year. We would love to get your review of Marcel The Shell with Shoes On.
Happily, Angie. Marcel The Shell with Shoes On is a feature-length version of the short animated films co-created by its lead voice, Jenny Slate, about a little shell with a single eye and a pair of shoes who walks around the world of the Airbnb where he lives and muses about how he gets along every day to a documentary filmmaker who has moved in. And his story about how he was left behind and searches for his family becomes a public sensation, and this film is all about that. It's almost impossible not to adore this film on some level if you have one eye and a heart. Then again, an ear is all you may need just to hear Slate's beautiful voice work as Marcel, who has the ability to make you laugh hysterically and shed a handful of tears. A24 had one of the success stories of the year with Everything Everywhere All at Once, and as this begins to roll out wider into mid-July, I have a feeling the same kind of word of mouth will take hold. Maybe even stronger given this is a true film for all ages. So keep an eye out for it in your market. Even in a still limited release, we will likely see it enter the top 10 this weekend. It was one of our selections for the Chicago Critics Film Festival this May. The audience there loved it, and I think everyone watching it will love it too.
Good to hear. Thank you, Erik.
Thank you, Angie.
Go to businessfirstam.com for where to see our show on TV.